It's crazy, but I've taken a break from playing my favorite MMO. So I was looking for some games to play this month, and I ended up making a list of exciting games releasing this July that I wanted to share with you. A bigger list of July releases is in the description, but for this video I've picked some games that I'm most excited about, so let's dive in. Right at the beginning of the month we have Mecha Break, a fast-paced, third-person shooter game where you play as a pilot of a badass Gundam-style mech across a few different game modes. You can play 6v6, which is all about capturing points on the map while fighting the other team, a 3v3 pure arena, or an extraction mode where you load into a bigger map and go around fighting waves of PvE enemies and bosses, including new guns, mods, and other materials to upgrade your mech with a chance of encountering and fighting other players in the same map. This is the only game mode with gear progression, while 3v3 and 6v6 is kind of normalized, meaning you're fighting various mechs with your base weapons and abilities without additional gear. Speaking of various mechs, currently you have 15 different mechanized shells to choose from. Some of them are super light flyers that transform into a plane, others are heavy tanks with rockets, and you have everything in between. You can play a sniper, a melee lancer with a shield, a stealthy mech that goes invisible and tries to backstab, or even a repair mech that's basically a healer. The game has a detailed character creator and maybe even more detailed mech customization system that allows you to recolor every part and create very unique color schemes. The game is free to play and I've already had quite a bit of fun playing it. It reminds me of Dragon Ball. One moment you're dashing in the air, then fighting on the ground and evading and clashing again. It can be non-stop action for the whole round. What I was pleasantly surprised by is how easy it was to jump in and play, the amount of customization options, and honestly the variety of different playstyles, as I've tried all the mechs by now and most of them feel fun in their own way. What I'm a bit concerned about is the longevity of the game. Now that I've tried every mech and every game mode, I can keep grinding my rank in the 6v6 mode or keep hunting for better loot in the extraction mode. But ultimately the devs will have to keep adding new content to the game, and no, the skins and even new mechs don't count as sufficient content. It will have to be new maps and game modes. But for now, I really recommend you try this game for yourself. Get it on Steam for free and there's a bunch of mechs for you to try and hours of content to progress through. Next on our list is Grounded 2. A sequel for a hit survival adventure game heavily inspired by the 90s and specifically the premise of Honey, I Shrank the Kids movies. In this game, you play as a group of kids that were shrunk to the size of bugs and are forced to survive in their new oversized environment. In the first game, you've had to play in the backyard, and it looks like in Grounded 2, you'll have to navigate a whole park with fences, statues, animal burrows, picnic tables, and trash cans that transform from mundane objects into challenging obstacles to overcome. The theme for Grounded 2 seems to be just grounded, but more, bigger, and better, with a bigger map, more focus on build variety and classes, better graphics, and a more elaborate combat system with light attacks, heavy attacks, blocking, and dodging. Looks like this time there's even more focus on the story, exploration, and discovering secrets, and for Grounded 2 they're introducing mounts that can help you with building or with fighting and can even fight alongside you. The game can be enjoyed solo, but it's really designed to play and progress with friends in a co-op mode that supports up to 4 players. The game is set to come out in early access on PC and Xbox on July 29th, and I can't wait to try it with some friends. Another game that's coming out on July 29th is Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. I'm not the biggest fan of cozy life simulator games, but I am a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings universe. I've played the Lord of the Rings Online MMO for about 9 years and met a lot of cool people in the community, so I'm pretty curious about Tales of the Shire. It's supposed to be a cozy hobbit life simulator that lets you explore a friendly town of Bywater and immerse yourself in a daily life of hobbits without worrying about epic battles and dangerous enemies potentially lurking in the east. In Tales of the Shire, you're going to be throwing parties for your friends, cooking various dishes, gathering ingredients for those dishes by fishing and foraging in the forest, and completing various tasks to build relationships. The game will have some cool mechanics like changing seasons, little blue birds helping you with directions, and butterflies indicating gatherable resources you can pick up in the gardens and the forests. You'll be able to decorate your hobbit hole with various furniture, and there doesn't seem to be a strict grid for decorations, so you'll be able to make your home as tidy or as messy as you want. There are currently some concerns about how authentic and true to Tolkien's world the game is going to be, and also the fact that it has been delayed multiple times, but it's finally coming out this month, and I hope it can be a nice place to relax, similar to Animal Crossing or Palia. The game is coming to PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, and I'm actually thinking of trying it on my Steam Deck. A game that surprised me this month is called The King is Watching. This is a roguelite kingdom builder with a twist. You play as a king trying to defend your castle, but your peasants are slackers, so they only work when your king is watching. You have to manage your resources, build up your defenses, and train an army to fight waves of enemies, but you can only command what's in your direct field of view. Look, this is how it works. If you stare at your barracks for too long, you'll train units to replace your fallen soldiers, but might quickly run out of resources. If you get stuck on watching your lumberjacks and farmers, you'll accumulate resource stockpiles, but might suffer damage to castle walls if you're not producing soldiers quick enough. You can't do everything at once, just try to balance and progress the best you can. You'll eventually lose, but will be able to upgrade your king's passive abilities, like starting the next run with more gold, a unique spell, or a new type of building to boost your resource production. I've tried this Steam demo and honestly didn't stop playing until I've completed every upgrade that the limited skill tree has to offer. But in the full game, we're expecting to see multiple skill trees, expanded castle size, additional kings with unique abilities, and different biomes that should come with their own enemies and bosses to defend against. It's a simple concept, but there's depth to the game, and with pause and speed up mechanics, everyone can play at their own pace. The King is Watching releases on Steam on July 21st, and I can't wait to come back and play some more. Another game that seemingly popped out of nowhere is Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream. This one is an isometric stealth game where you play as Hannah, a young girl in the Nordic-inspired city of Eriksholm, who's searching for her missing brother. What starts as a search party quickly spirals into a city-wide conspiracy, and you'll have to use stealth, solve puzzles, and navigate heavily patrolled streets, basements, roofs, and other environments. The camera view is top-down, but you are able to spin it around in search for clues and to figure out the best route. You'll be sticking to the shadows, creating distractions, and using your unique character abilities like shooting darts from cover rather than fighting the guards head-on. I have tried a demo that is available on Steam, and the game is pretty tense and strategic, but it didn't feel too slow. The story just keeps moving forward at a good pace. What I was particularly impressed with was the art direction. It's cool to explore these carefully crafted environments of Eriksholm. The cutscenes are what I would expect from a AAA game, along with the superb voice acting and motion capture. I really didn't expect this level of quality, and I am going to try progressing past the demo and see if the pacing keeps me interested, as the game is out on July 15th on PC and PlayStation 5. Next up is Wildgate, a team-based multiplayer game that smashes together a fast-paced first-person shooting with tactical spaceship combat. In teams of 3, you'll pilot your ship through colorful but dangerous space, board enemy spacecrafts, and race to be the first crew to escape with a valuable artifact. It's like Sea of Thieves, but in space with more direct focus on action and combat. You'll play as an outlaw with unique abilities, and during each round you'll be looting powerful weapons and upgrading your ship to get an edge over the other teams. I like the idea of seamlessly transitioning from piloting your ship and firing cannons to boarding an enemy ship in first person and going for a shootout. It sounds like one of those games that is aiming for some epic and funny moments with your friends without taking itself too seriously, and you'll be able to play it on July 22nd. Another shooter that should be fun with a group of friends is Killing Floor 3, coming out on July 24th. This is the next installment in the 6-player horror FPS series, and the fans of the franchise are pretty excited. The trailers have been epic so far. The game is set in the year 2091, where some evil mega corporation has unleashed an army of bioengineered monsters, the Zeds, and it's up to you and your squad to mow them down. With this sequel, Killing Floor is finally coming to Unreal Engine 5, and it looks super gory with a deeper progression system, more weapon customization, and smarter zombies than ever. The core gameplay loop is all about surviving waves of zombies, earning cash for better guns, upgrading them at the shop, and holding the line against impossible odds with your friends. I really don't see myself grinding this solo, but if you're looking for a fun co-op game, then this might be just right for you. The guns feel weighty, the movement is smooth, and a close playtest is available right now. You just need to request access on Steam. Finally, if you're looking for a dark, challenging, single-player Souls-like experience, then you might be interested in Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is a Souls-like action RPG set in Ming Dynasty China. The land is cursed with some horrifying plague that causes people to sprout feathers and become monstrous creatures, and you'll play as a warrior battling through this dark fantasy world, trying to uncover the truth behind this curse. The first time I've seen the trailers and the title, I immediately thought this is related to black myth Wuchang, but apparently it's not, and the game is going to be different in many ways, maybe even closer to the hardcore Dark Souls experience than Wuchang. Honestly, we don't know much about the developers, however, the game director seems to be super passionate and seems to really understand what makes a good Souls-like. For now, I'll be cautiously optimistic. The bosses look relatively unique and memorable, the environment is stylized and moody, so as long as raw combat and various progression systems are well implemented, this could be another title that pleasantly surprises Souls-like fans around the world on July 24th. I hope you found something to be excited about. Let me know in the comments which game you're most looking forward to, especially if I missed it in this video. For a bigger list of July releases, check out my article on MetaForge. I want to share more games with you in the future and deep dive into the ones I enjoy the most. So subscribe to catch future videos or come chat with me on Discord. I'm gonna go now and put all the links in the description. Crazy Trick out.